The Sims 2, where you can create your dreams. I built a city inspired by my beloved New York. Then, in a devastating blow, my game completely crashed. Come with me, Tipsy Mommy, and my cat Lucian as I show you how I have begun to rebuild. Stay until the end, and I'm going to tell you how you can add these items to your game to create your own Sim York. Let's get started. Welcome back, everybody, or welcome if you're new. Yes, you heard me right. I had a massive crash and lost pretty much everything from my Sims 2. And this is not even the Legacy Edition. This was my original game, so we're talking years of work. We're going to start today with my idea about the city before I tell you about my horrible crash. So my plan is you're going to see us build the city. We're going to have an uptown, a midtown, a downtown, a very downtown, which is the AKA seedy side. Then if you go all the way to the left, you're going to see I'm moving all of the ownable homes over there because in my mind, that would be like Queens or Long Island. My New Yorkers are going to completely understand that. I'm not putting much ownable property into the city other than a brownstone or two because I feel like that reminds me most of New York because that's kind of what I'm building, Sim York, I like to call it. And so we're having mostly apartment style buildings. So what you're going to see here as I tell you the rest of the story is me prepping the city for our series. Like I said, I have really been missing living in Manhattan, and I thought it would be fun to do this series based on city builds. And this, I guess, is where my entire life took a dark turn. So to be fair, I'm going to tell you what I downloaded that I think, the crash really happened over, but I honestly have been having a lot of stability issues. I'm doing more builds. I'm putting more downloads, more mods, more custom content, and I really have not backed anything up. So Tipsy tip number 1 for today, always save. I found this beautiful remade downtown called Downtown Revamp, a complete overhaul of downtown from The Sims 2 Nightlife by Dude with Dragon Tattoos. I'm going to put a link in the description down below. I did have some problems from when I downloaded it. I was going to put it in as a sub hood, but I just couldn't get it to work. I figured that's fine. He had a main hood version and it's super simple to add these as a main hood. Then I found on Mod The Sims, my favorite place, NY building set hood decorations by PSY Lord. And I love these. They'll be in the link as well. And then my dreams of creating my own little New York seem to be a reality. And I frantically, in one day, created the entire neighborhood. As I'm exiting out of my Sims 2, it started to crash. I knew there was a problem, but I felt with all of the foolishness and pride that only Tipsy Mommy can, that I had enough things that I could do cleanups and that sort of thing and absolutely fix my own problem. I was wrong. It got to the point that I couldn't even boot in the game without it crashing. So there was nothing I could do. I knew I was going to have to reinstall. And after many bad words and weeping loudly enough to destroy, I might have wanted to destroy the neighbors, disturb the neighbors, I had to reinstall the game. Luckily, my mods and download folders I had copies of because I had been messing with them in the Legacy Edition. And nicely enough, some of my houses showed up in the Sims housing bin, which was great because before I started doing Sims 2 on YouTube, I had done a number of city apartments for my game, and that's great because you're going to see me use them here now. And as you're looking at my little Sim York, you're going to see that it's kind of coming together. I'm moving around some of the big buildings. So the idea is, obviously, we need more buildings. It kind of works out, I guess. This is just any downtown. You can see up in the top left-hand corner, it just says downtown. This was a downtown in, I believe it's my Pleasant View. And I just decided we're just going to move the buildings around so it's not rebuilt. These are all the original houses here. This first thing that I'm sticking in here, I think I put it Uptown Apartments. These were my ritzy apartments that I had built in one of my old neighborhoods, and I was so excited to see they were still there. I did have some problems as you can see, that I don't even know what might have been sitting on these lots, that I couldn't move some things around, the little hood decorations or something. But I'm trying to section off, like I said, these sections. So, you know, more uptown is going to be a little bit snootier, and then things are going to get cheaper as you move downtown. I had moved the, oh, what's it called? The park to the middle, kind of like a central park kind of area. Now you're going to see me messing around with some of the brownstones. So there's going to be, I think, 1 or 2 ownable brownstones here. Then everything else is going to be apartments. And most of what you're going to see here in my city, like I said before, is going to be apartments, because that's how it is for me from my memory in New York. Now, yes, could you own apartments? I think back when I looked at buying an apartment in 2018 or 2019, it was something like $500,000 for a walk-up studio apartment. There you go. Anyway, so in my little town, we don't have enough room to be doing a lot of ownable stuff, and I just wanted to make it kind of fun city life. There's one of the apartments here I have already noticed did not come up as an apartment. So I'm sure one of the builds you'll get to see me messing around, fixing some of these apartments. Today, you're just going to see me set up as a city here. And this was kind of fun on my own time. I like to play things like City Skylines, city builder type games. So it was fun for me to actually just be messing around with the city. Here I'm setting up a nice little area that maybe, you know, on this upper side of town, you could go and you could picnic uptown. That would have been someplace that my daughter and I would have loved to have gone and got coffee, you know, and she's laughing behind me at all my craziness. This area here that I'm doing right now, all of these apartments, well, the majority of them were actually built after where we used to live. So I always lived on the east side, but one of my favorite areas was on the upper east side. So I did a bunch of apartments. I think I called one like East 91st Street, East 85th Street, and I spent a lot of time living there. I did live in Midtown around East 50th. I love the east side. If I have any New Yorkers who listen to me, I'm sure they'll tell you kind of wherever you live, that's kind of how you identify. If you're a West Side person, you always love the West Side. So that's just some New York gossip for you. Over by my factories and the nuclear power plants, you're going to see I'm going to make that area a little tiny bit seedy. I did download some great custom stuff that was in my other New York City that you saw just at the very, very beginning briefly. I was filming as I was going, so I do have footage of it, and I found these great places. But just because, like I said, I don't know if my game was that unstable or if it was something that I had downloaded. I told you I went down a dark path, so I was doing a bunch of downloads. So what I tried to do was anything I had downloaded from the time of the crash, I took out. I did actually see those 2 buildings that I just love them. They were really rough looking, and they ended up down there on my other build. But here I had done, you're gonna laugh at me, I have a really cheap set of apartments, and they're gonna go, I'm putting them in right now. But on the other side, that was one that I did that they have all bars on the windows, and it was actually a chop shop. So like I said, I had played kind of a city lifestyle at one point, and that was like right before I started doing all the Sims 2 content back this past fall, I guess it is. And so it seemed like everybody wanted to be playing in Pleasant View. So I started revamping Pleasant View in my Uberville for my videos. But you know, I thought, hey, what the heck? We'll come back to New York. I needed to do a series. And so you see, I've got the House of Fallen Trees. I left that one alone just because I had so much fun. Go and check out some of my other videos. I had a great time when we revamped that, although because of the crash, it is no longer revamped. So maybe we can go and create apartments there again, or maybe we can just, I don't know, update it and have somebody living there. That would kind of be fun. Maybe the evil mayor of the town could live there. I can't imagine anybody who isn't evil living in the House of Fallen Trees. And again, you see me placing all of these pieces. I will have to get some video, I don't know if I got any, of the city at night. So unfortunately, I have to get a mod or some other things for the downtown buildings to light up. But these cute little New York-y buildings, they all kind of light up at night. So it looks really adorable at night. And I'm not sure if I got any footage of that, but I will definitely get that and add it at the end so you can all see that. So the way that I did this, you can see it's super simple. I just grabbed a downtown. Buildings that you see, you download them. They end up in your download folders, and believe it or not, they show up under rocks. So technically, they're just rocks, and they're rocks that light up at night. And I just put them all over. They're looking lovely. Maybe, you know, it's putting pressure on the computer. I don't know. We'll see as we go in. I did put down then, we're going to do a corner that's a bodega. That was my original build that we were going to do for the channel because everybody has a corner bodega. And so the corner was going to be a bodega and a coffee shop and that sort of thing. You're going to see me mess with it right now is what I'm trying to do, is put a build corner piece. And later I did go in and try to get in there and make sure that I was able to get in and build, because like I said, I had so many problems going into this, and everything was working just fine. You see, it says corner bodega shop. So that's how we're going to end up building there. And so that's going to be our first building that you're going to see. If you have any other builds that you'd like to see in our city, I'm also thinking, I realized that there's a Sims 4 to 2 conversion for a kid's splash park that I figure we'll get the whole Tipsy family involved. I have a 5-year-old granddaughter, and I figure her and her mom, we can move them into the city and they can do the splash park. I was thinking that my daughter and her fiance, I'm gonna have them running the chop shop and the illegal gambling downtown because, oh well, that's a long story. You'll have to stay tuned for why they're gonna go downtown and run the illegal gambling. And I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with my son yet. You can tell me, what would you like to see Tipsy Mommy doing? Should she be, I don't know, running the buildings? Oh, there we go. We've got a little bit of a night shop going on. You can see that those buildings light up a little bit, whereas the original Sims buildings are all dark, and it just looks adorable. So that's our Sim York. And you'll have to tell me what you think, what other things you'd like to see built in there. I look forward to this series. Thank you for watching. Happy simming, and bye-bye.